Somebody told me to settle down. Day nights and late nights don't get around. But there's something about you I like. About you I like. You're crazy for saying I should slow down, but maybe I'm escaping the love we found. There's something about you I like. About you I like. I get too drunk and too scared and lie to you. If only you knew I would die for you. One of us gotta say the obvious. Nobody loves me better. Nobody loves me better. Nobody loves me better. Guess I'm just too scared to settle down. There'd be many nights I got too high and almost left town. But there's something about you I like. About you I like. I get too drunk and too scared and lie to you. If only you knew I would die for you. One of us gotta say the obvious. Nobody loves me better. Nobody loves me better. Too drunk and too scared and lie to you. If only you knew I would die for you. One of us gotta say the obvious. Nobody loves me better, yeah. I get too drunk and too scared and lie to you. If only you knew I would die for you. One of us gotta say the obvious. Nobody loves me better. Nobody loves me better.
Hello, good morning. How you guys doing today? Well, I don't know, who won? What's going on? It's the day after election. April, November 4th. And that's the Apple Watch says 56 degrees out here. So it's pretty nice here in the Kansas City area. Go ahead and stop that music here. Find you how. All right, so good morning. Hello. So today, I usually don't talk about politics on the show, but I mean, it's so prevalent in our lives here in America anyways. We got to, I don't know, there's not really anything else to talk about. I had prepared to talk about some other stuff, but I just want to talk about election, and I want to bring some people on today. I have a real simple way. I have a link that I can post in the comments, and you just click on the link and you can come in live with me and let's just talk about what's going on. I'd love to hear what your opinions are and what you think's going on, and just chit chat. And we can talk about anything else if you want, but I think it'd be interesting to get some people's perspective on here, what they think about the election. So you can just do your audio if you want, if you don't want to come on camera, but I'd like to have you on camera. It'd be kind of fun. So let me see. Let me pop that into the, grab the link here, and we'll pop it into the comment section. Comment. So there we go. Boom. All right, so click that link. Let me go over here to my business page and see if I can put that link in there also. So yeah, so what do you guys think? Was it about what you expected? Was it different? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you still anxious? Lots of unanswered questions still, maybe, or do you think that the country has spoken? Obviously, it's not done yet. So I've got some comments. I got some news here we can kick off. Some interesting things that I just looked up this morning. In fact, maybe we'll just kind of read this stuff together as we go along here. All right. So, cool. All right. So let's get into it. So let me. I'm not even going to do a tease. Today is just going to be kind of a free form, and we are going to just go with it. And hopefully somebody will come on and talk with me, and we will have an interactive talk about democracy and about the election, about the U.S. And this is probably the only time we're going to do this. So get your questions in. Come on live with me, or you can just pop a question in the comments. That would be fine too. So let me just start with the meme. This is, I posted this picture of me on social media yesterday, and it got a lot of attention. People thought it was pretty funny. And it's just one of those filters on Snapchat, but I thought it was pretty funny. And cracked up a lot of people. Those damn filters are amazing. I don't know if you've played with those, but they are fun, and I can't believe how good quality those are. I mean, it looks like that looks like a beard. I need to see if I can actually paint that. I think that'd be pretty funny. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, so who's on? Who's on today? Say hi. Say what's up. You don't have to come on, but if you'd like to, I'd like to have you come on so we can have a little dialogue, little comment. I really like to hear what other people are thinking about this whole thing. Did you stay up? How late did you stay up? I went to bed about midnight. It was pretty clear that by then they weren't going to know. At that point, it looked like Pennsylvania was the big one that they weren't going to be able to answer. But as I looked this morning, here, let me share my screen. And as I looked this morning at this map, as you can see, so they still haven't called Delaware. Hey, Donna, how you doing? You want to come on, talk about elections with me? Yeah, so it looks like Nevada, in this map, that they haven't called, although it's leaning towards Biden. I just thought it was interesting. I was watching CBS most of the night, and then I popped over to CNN a little bit, and then to Fox just to get, Donna says, nope, lol. That's all right. I've got this easy technology that people can just click on those links and pop in here live with me. So I thought I would try that out. I haven't tried it yet, but so if somebody wants to, that would be fun. If not, no problem. Yeah, anyway, so I was watching CBS, and they started saying CBS announces that such and such state is leaning towards someone. And I thought that was so funny. They had this big deal about leaning towards. And then they had another funny saying. It was like that they, I don't know. CBS was just doing some funky things last night. But I thought that was funny. CNN seemed to just call them pretty quickly. Although most of the networks use the AP to make the final call. So I'm not sure what they were doing. But so let's see. So this map, it shows Alaska. Alaska as not being totally called for, but leaning towards Trump. Yeah, so I think, and then Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan. So that will be interesting. You're watching Fox. Did you watch Fox the whole time? Because that's pretty one-sided. At least you got to go bop back and forth to a couple different ones. I watched a little bit of Fox just to see the difference. Although I have to admit, on election night, they were all pretty even. It's not much they could do. Um, yeah, I think that anytime, anytime I watch the news, I try to watch all the different stations because they do have some of their biases. Although CBS, NBC, all of them, um, pretty left media, but then Fox is very very right. So it all evens out, I guess. Yeah, this like I said, I don't usually talk about politics on here, so I'm gonna this will be interesting because you can't really. I mean, if you're gonna talk about it, you might as well just talk about it, right? So this is probably gonna be the only show we do that. So, I mean, I'll just lay it out there. So I was born and raised conservative Republican, but as I aged, I have definitely leaned a little more left, a little more certainly socially left, still fiscally conservative. But just to be honest, I'm not a Trump fan. I couldn't vote for him last time. I couldn't vote for him this time. But I lean Republican on most other things. But I do socially definitely left on this on a lot of the social sides. So, anyways, I think that the country's so divided. That makes me sad. And I don't see really any way out with Trump. Don't know about Biden. I'm not talking about all the other issues, but basically, I think that Biden could hopefully draw the country together a little bit. Maybe not. I mean, we're kind of very divisive, and I don't know. It may take a while to get us back to where we can all be Americans again, and where we can get something done in Congress. Yeah, I think it's sad, Donna. It's crazy, but it's where we are, so we got to deal with it. And I think one of the things that I felt yesterday was a sense of I did feel a sense of patriotism and a sense of people were really really proud to vote and excited to vote. There was a lot of anxiety, I think, out there about what was going to happen. But either way, I felt this sense of American pride in at least getting out there and voting. And from what I can tell, we have behaved pretty good. So we'll see if hopefully that holds. I don't know if any knows more stories. I browsed different news sites today and tried to find some different news stations. Oh, hold on here. Get my map out of the way. There we go. To see if there was any unrest, and I don't think there really has been any, but it was interesting here in Kansas City. People were boarding up their businesses in downtowns. I imagine a lot of cities did that, which kind of surprising. Yeah. But, I mean, better safe than sorry, and we've seen some of the stuff in the past months that have gotten, kind of ugly. So, I mean, the country there's tension, but I did find it interesting that there was this really people were really glad to vote either way, and that's good. That's a great thing. I mean, people are saying that we have a voice and that we can make a difference. We'll see. I mean, the country's still divided, but still having each side want to vote is good, and the fact that the record turnout was great. And I mean, people have different opinions one way or the other about mail-in votes, but I think we're going to see that it actually works, and that whatever it takes to get more people voting, I think is good. So we'll see how it goes. So let me pop this back on here. So I think there was a couple interesting. All right, so this is the latest map. So I thought it was interesting. So I'm just going to read some of this stuff off. People can comment or not, whatever. But so last night, about 11 or so, 11:30, Biden got on and basically just said, hey, have patience, and thanks for getting out the vote. And then Trump got on, and in Trump style, his confidence is, we're way ahead. But I guess that he did call for, to go ahead and stop the voting, and or stop the counting, or whatever. So I mean, that was we kind of figured that, right? We kind of all thought that was probably going to happen, and of course, he did say that. So I'm just going to read some stuff here. So shortly after Biden said he was confident that winning the contest, that he'd win once the votes were counted, Trump appeared at the White House early to declare victory, and his lawyers said that they would be taking his case to the U.S. Supreme Court without specifying what they would claim. So I think this is just rhetoric on his part, kind of par for the course for him, and we kind of expected that. So I'm not too worried about that, which is fine. And the rest of it was just Trump being Trump, saying that we're going to win this and we win big or bigly. I was hoping he would say bigly. I don't think he did, but let's see. What are some other things? Let's pop back over here to, this is the, okay, so what else we got here? So let's see, battleground states. So I thought it was interesting in Georgia, I think, about 10 or 11 o'clock, I think Eastern time, they just packed up and said they'd been working hard all day, and they just went home and left a lot of the counting to be counted. So I don't know what I feel about that. It's like, I get it, and I know this is a lot of volunteers, but I don't know, it's a big deal. I kind of had hoped they'd planned better than that, but we'll see. The other interesting thing about this, about our election, is really interesting about how all of our states have different rules and different ways that we count and do our elections. And on the one hand, I think that's kind of cool. On the other hand, it's crazy, and it makes things so difficult to count and to create order and a sense of fairness when it comes down to this stuff. So at one point I always thought it was ridiculous to get the courts and the lawyers involved in these things, but I don't know how else to figure some of this stuff out because it's so crazy and complicated. But on the other hand, I was sitting there watching last night thinking, this makes it damn interesting. They're so complicated and every state's differently that it makes it really interesting stuff. And so I just sat there yesterday watching, and really the whole day, just really admiring and enjoying our American way. And as divided as we are, and as sad as it is, it was kind of cool to see us all going through all these different motions and stuff, and seeing all the different news stations and how they were going to try to figure it all out. So I thought it was interesting. Hey Deanna, how you doing? Yeah, so what do you think about the election? This is the first and maybe only time we're going to talk politics the whole time. But I figured today, if ever there was a day, just to do it today. And really, I have nothing prepared. I'm just kind of talking to people. If anybody wants to come on, Adiana, I'd love to have you on if you want to talk. I'll send you the link. Actually, the link is in the comments, and you can just click on that and pop on, and we can talk about what's important to you in this election. I'm curious to know. But yeah, just to let life slow down and be patient. So yeah, the lesson of 2020. So let's put your comment up here. Let's make that a little bigger. So yeah, I think that is a good lesson. I don't know if we're gonna learn that lesson, but I hope we do. And in fact, I hope that we take a lot of what we've learned or what's happened here in 2020 and take the best parts of it moving forward. My sort of slogan that I say a lot of times is that let's use this catalyst of change to change ourselves for the better and to change our communities, our country, our world, and make it better. Because it changed anyways, right? We have to we're going through the change anyways, so let's use that change positively. And there's a lot of fear and uncertainty out there, and I get that. But I keep coming back to, it's like, we're gonna change anyways. We've changed, we're changing, let's focus on the best parts moving forward, if we can. I don't think that's too Pollyanna, it may sound that, because there are some serious stuff going on, and there's some pain and there's some suffering, I get that. But there's going to be. And so the more we can stay positive, the more that we can protect our bodies, our immune systems, and stay healthy, and then help people. Because that's really what it comes down to, is people helping people. And so as the nation's so divided right now, that's the hard part. Because when we're divided like that, are we helping each other? I don't know if we are. And that's the sad part, because well, I'll just say this. The other thing I think is, I think, and I don't talk too much about religion other than spirituality here, but I do believe in a higher power. And I think that our higher power, our creator, wired us to feel good when we help others. And that he works through us to help each other. I'm not a big believer in miracles, but I am a huge believer in humans helping other humans. And whether that's divinely set in, I don't know. All I know is that we have to help each other. We have to help ourselves, and we have to help each other. And that's just sort of the bottom line. So as we're so divided here, that makes me a little sad. And so I'm hoping that we can get all the lessons from 2020 and know that the virus, I've said this before, the virus didn't discriminate. It affects everybody equally. Let's use that as an example moving forward, that we're all the same. Certainly we're all Americans, we're all, global citizens, we're all humans. And gosh, I hope that would be a message that we could move forward with. And so, yeah, the election is decisive, is divisive right now. The country's divisive. Maybe some people were hoping that maybe this election we would show that we're focusing on one way, that we're coming together. Clearly, that's not the case. It's kind of fascinating that it's coming down to this again. I think we all thought it would. I know a lot of Biden fans were hoping it wouldn't, that there would really be a referendum to, find somebody different to lead the country. So, yeah. Yeah, invitation to jump on. Hop on. It's in the comments. Just click on that link, Adiana. And pop on here. I think did you try it? I don't know. I haven't used this feature before, but if you click on that link, I think you'll come up here on the screen and I can pop you in here. So we'll talk. Yeah, that's the invitation. Speak on this topic or any topic you want to, Adiana. All right, so let me go back over here to this. So what else we got here? This one says, how long may it take will the election stands in key states? So I've heard, I don't know if you guys have heard, that in Pennsylvania, that it may take days. And that's the other thing I don't quite understand. I mean, I know we all have all these different laws, but how did, you're not seeing the link. Okay, hold on, Adiana. I don't know how Pennsylvania got kind of so far out of whack from the other states. How did that happen? All right, Adiana, let's see. So in the comments, right there. No, it's in the comments. You can't see that in the comments, huh? I can see it here, I think. Let's see, it's on, you're on my personal site or my business site? I put it in there on both. Let me see. Read a comment. Oh, you're right. Let's see, I don't see it in there, but let me pop it in there again. There we go. Try that. You see that there? Hopefully you will see that. Yeah, so how did Pennsylvania get so out of whack with the rest of the country? That is interesting. Okay, let me pull that back down. Let's see. So, with no blue wave for Democrats on Tuesday night, Trump and Biden were bracing for a more drawn-out process as ballots continued to be counted. Early Wednesday morning in the U.S., Biden had won Arizona, flipping the first state to the Democrats. Although I don't know, I think he's going to win Arizona, but I think this Apple News wasn't calling it quite yet. Pennsylvania was expected to be under scrutiny in a close race, but with both campaigns aggressively courting voters in the final days before the election. Pennsylvania, let's see, at 1:30 a.m. local time, Pennsylvania Department reported almost 1.4 million mail ballots. It's a little more than half of the total were counted statewide. It was 67% for Biden, 32% for Trump. There were 3.1 million election day votes counted, with 67 for Trump and 32 for Biden. Isn't that funny? Just a switcheroo. So it's going to be close once they count all this. Whew, interesting. Wow. And then there's Wisconsin. That's going to be a big one, I think. Let's see. An influx of nearly 100. Oh, there's Adiana. All right. Let me see if we can get this working. Hold on, Adiana. Let me go back to this and let's click on that. And there you are. You're in the green room. And now you're on. Yay! How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. This is fun. Yeah, I haven't done this with my Ecamm Live. And you're on your phone, right?
I'm trying to find good lighting.
Yeah, find some good lighting in there. Yeah, so it's kind of cool because with just one link, you can come on. That's good. You can come on your phone or your computer, laptop, whatever. Oh, now you're outside, huh? All right.
Yes, it's not raining.
Good. It's not raining. And it's not raining here. Are you guys going to get winter yet? When do you guys, is it gotten cold there?
It has. We're down to like 40 degrees.
You're 40. And you're in Canada, right?
No, Washington.
Oh, Washington.
The other Vancouver.
That's right, the other Vancouver. I always think, I've been in Vancouver, I've only been to the Canadian version. Yeah. So what do you think? Did you stay up and watch last night? How long did you stay up?
Yep, so I was up until midnight Pacific time. So I had probably gone to bed right after President Trump had spoke. And I kind of just thought, because it was like we got 3 projections in a row and then it just stopped. And I just remember thinking, I think we're done for the night. I just don't think we're going to get much else.
Yeah.
And I just stayed calm and I think that was the message that we got from Biden, was to stay calm. And I was watching MSNBC all night and, one of the reporters had, I don't remember what state, had said, she had contact with the someone at his headquarters and said that, they were all calm. And I just was thinking, I was like, that is what we need to do. We all want peace, so we need to have peace within ourselves. We want this to pan out calmly. We need to be calm. And I just was sitting there last night thinking, COVID happened and it was all chaotic and crazy and but the lesson there was to slow down, just to slow down, smell the roses, and just be for a little bit. And I think it's like, this is what this is. Our country and democracy and the political system is set up this way for this to happen. And I think no matter what is trying to be manifested from the other side, I think the other side, I stand with Biden, is to be calm and just let things happen the way that it's supposed to happen. We can't have fear and, just to be scared. We just have to be calm and we just need to watch it pan out and breathe. I think we have had some small wins yesterday. The 2 New York senators, 2 gay black men. I think that was so beautiful, and to see that happen. So we just have to be patient and be calm and just watch what happens.
Yeah, I think, it's interesting because when I was perusing Facebook yesterday and trying to get a mix, and I have a pretty good mix of, left and right standing in my Facebook, and I felt a sense of patriotism. Everybody was excited really to vote, with a side of tension underlying that, and people were tense, but there were a lot of people like yourself who were just saying, "Let's breathe, let's be calm. This is it's a good thing. We still have, our democracy is still the best in the world. As kind of crazy as it is, it's still the best out there." And, what's going to happen has happened. And I think, do you think that in 2016, after Trump won, I think it was a shock to everybody, left, right, conservative, Republican, whatever, liberal. It was a shock when he won. I wonder if we're like, are we used to that now? It's almost like, it's like, even though I think that team was feeling confident, don't you think everybody in the back of their mind was like, wow, well, we felt this way with, in 2016. And so we're not going to get overconfident. What do you think about that?
So coming from a young voter, 2016 was the first time I ever voted in the presidential election.
Yeah.
And so last night I was reflecting too. There was a moment I was like, wait, I remember sitting here and like, okay, we're waiting on these 2 states and what's going to happen, and let's just hold out hope and everything's going to be okay. And then the result came in and the room fell silent and we're like, oh, Donald Trump is president, or is going to be our next president. So I think the emotion is a lot like this, but I also just feel that there is a lot coming to light. There's a lot that we're seeing. We're seeing all of these states across the United States that are doing things differently. He was saying that he wanted to throw out mail-in ballots, but the state of Washington, that's the only option. So just consider that our president wanted to throw out my vote. That is why, and then last night he was like, oh yeah, well, I think voting needs to end and all those votes just get thrown out.
Yeah.
No, that is not acceptable. And I also just think another, big win is the amount of voters that went out and voted. That's something else that's so beautiful. And it's just like, we need to be patient. This takes time. We have record numbers. Were we prepared for those record numbers? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think so. Although, I feel like we kind of should have been, because we've been talking about this for a long time, about, all the extra time it's going to take, for the mail-in voters, and the fact that Trump was ratcheting up that rhetoric about that. So let's be prepared. I saw there was a lot of controversy, I don't know, about a month ago, maybe a little even longer than that, where the post office was getting rid of machinery and they were cutting back, and people were saying, hey, that's crazy, we're going to have all these mail-in voters. And then there was all this controversy that Trump was trying to, scale back the U.S. Postal Service, so there would be this controversy. Then the guy the inspector general of the post office came back and said, yeah, no, we're gonna go ahead and beef it up again. But I saw today that they hadn't finished the job, and so that staffing and I guess whatever mail equipment and that kind of stuff, was still not adequately prepared for it. But I think that being said, yeah, I think this is just Trump rhetoric. He just we're kind of used to it now, and of course he was going to say that. But the key thing is, and I didn't see any unrest in the streets. And although part of it is people are just waiting, I don't know. I'm holding out. I think that we're going to be okay either way, unless something really crazy happens and Trump, decides not to leave the office and calls out the National Guard or whatever. But other than that, I think we're going to be okay. I just have this good feeling about it. I felt that there was just more people patriotic. People felt proud and patriotic to vote. And that, it'll certainly the people that are hoping that the blue wave would take back over, whether it happens or not. The interesting thing is, we know now it didn't happen. But it also wasn't a red wave. It's clear it's panned out exactly the way I think most people thought it was going to. Pretty darn even, coming right down to the wire. My hope is that just we stay calm and, like you said, and not go crazy, not have the civil unrest that some people want, but we don't need it.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. And I work in Portland, right? So that's a big, Portland.
Portland.
I mean, traffic was easy last night. I didn't see anything on the way home.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't stop anywhere. I wasn't out looking to see what's happening, but I felt calm on the way home. I felt it was just a regular drive home. I was more excited just to get back home and see what was going on because I had the election map on my phone and I was like, refreshing and okay, what's going to happen? What's going on? Um, so I definitely felt that patriotism, and I voted and my vote was accepted, and so now it's okay. What's going to happen? What lays before us? And so I absolutely agree with you that it's all going to be okay, and I think we just have to trust that. We have to trust the processes that we have in place. We need to trust that things are going to be okay. And it will be okay. I don't doubt that it will. We just have to stay calm and just watch what happens and just, stay positive. Keep smiling, keep going.
Yeah, yeah. So Adiana and I, we are in a special group together. It's how we know each other, and we our group gets together. It's about 50 or 60 people in it. It's called the Energetic Self Mastery Program, and so we really talk about being responsible for our own energy in this group, and really that we're infinite beings, and that really we can have it all. And it's so interesting because every Wednesday we get on a call with our leader, Tamara Ross, and I find this interesting, Adiana. I think it's interesting just for anybody to listen when you get into a group like this or a coaching group. That we and what I like about the way she does it is that every Wednesday all of us get on a Zoom call, 50 of us or so, and we just ask for facilitation. And so there's no set agenda, which I think is pretty cool. And so people just, get on and basically, let everybody know and have Tamara sort of facilitate what their issues are, what the problems, what's coming up or whatever, what they're bumping up against. And I find it's interesting is that what I love to listen to these calls for is that really it's always sort of the same message. She always, if you look at it, she's always saying, well, if you were an infinite being, would you worry about this? Would this bother you, or would you do this? And so it gets us into the mindset that, yeah, there's this 3D world, we call it, right, that we all have to live in. And then there's this infinite world that is really, from my perspective, it's sort of in our mind, but it's where do we want our thoughts and our attention to be focused on, right? And so what I'm always reminded in these calls and in this course is that, yeah, I have stuff going on in my life, and we've got these elections, and we got this big stuff right in front of us, but it's what we choose to focus our thoughts and our attention on that really matter. And so it's just interesting, Adiana, I find that every week it's sort of, I get reminded almost of the same thing every week because that comes up. And I think that's the brilliance of this kind of program is that, yeah, I mean, we've got different issues and whatever, and there are different things, but ultimately it always kind of comes down to the same thing. And Tamara always reminds us, well, if you're an infinite being, would you worry about that? And so I guess I just relate that to this election and just say, you don't have to believe in the energetic woo-woo, as sometimes I call it, but what do you choose to focus your attention on? And do you want to get all riled up in the negativity and the potential craziness that could come out of this? Or do you want to hope for, like Adiana has suggested multiple times here, be calm, let's just be calm, let's just be proud Americans. Let's focus on that. So that's what I like about that program, and you can hear it in the way that Adiana is talking, and I try to talk that way too as much as I can, and just choose what to think, choose what to focus on, and you can choose because there's tension and anxiety out there, but that doesn't mean we have to focus on it, right, Adiana?
Absolutely. And I think the one thing that I just really keep thinking about is, if anything, we're seeing all of these new awarenesses around what's broken in the system, what can we do to fix it? I mean, even election, right? I think you asked a great question is, why are all these states doing things, so different? There came a point where Washington, Oregon, and California lit up in a second, and then we're still waiting for 2 million votes from Pennsylvania. well, we just unleashed all these votes from these other states. So why is there such this discrepancy between the states? And I think it's just given the opportunity for us to ask more questions and for us to think about things differently and what can we change to make it better. And the one thing that I keep thinking about is the only way change, calm, positive, and peace is going to come is if we start that in ourselves. We have to, just like what you're saying with our program, you know, we can't focus on the fear and the anxiety and, oh, what if, what if, what if. I think another thing that Tamara Ross talks about a lot is just think there's 1,000 different ways that something can pan out. We have what it's going to be, but what we need to focus on is right now in this moment and just be calm. And that's all we can do. You know, yesterday she talked about just taking breath breaks. You know, if you start to feel that fear and angst come up, just take what I was doing yesterday, just take 3 deep breaths and just come back to the current. And I did that all day, because I felt it creep back in. And I was like, okay, nope, we got to let it go. We got to push it away and just be calm. And I slept great last night. I'm feeling good this morning.
Good.
We're just going to keep taking breath breaks and see what happens.
Yeah, I did too. I slept good last night too. And that's good because a few nights before that I hadn't been, but I slept good last night too. And so that's really good. So that's cool, Adriana. So tell us a little bit about what you're interested in, what you advocate for. I know that you have a couple different areas that you're advocating for. And then if people want to tune into your message, where can they tune in to hear your message?
Yeah, so I am, as Scott knows, I am in process of figuring things out and where I want to land. But I am just about people. I'm passionate about individuals knowing who they are within themselves. And I just truly believe that the best relationship that you can ever have is yourself. And that is going to pan out into every other relationship that you have. I truly believe and stand by, you know, I need to put an LLC behind it or whatever, but powerful change begins from within. And I'm leading with that. So on, you know, Instagram, like Scott knows, I do Monday motivations, and yesterday it was like, just go vote. And I also do Talking Some Truth Thursdays, where I just take a topic and talk some truth, but it really just comes back to the foundation of who you are as an individual, and are you working on that relationship and giving yourself what it is that you truly want in life. And that is me. I am super passionate about this people. There's so many issues going on in the world, and I don't want to get into all of them because I think a lot of it is being shaken up by the election right now. So just wake up and pay attention to what's going on in our world, and I can guarantee that's probably where my passion lies.
Yes, and I put Adriana's name up, Adriana Miles, there. You can find her, search for her on Instagram and so on. And what I love about Adriana's videos is that before the video starts, she's got a cool face though. So give me your video face, the one you do right before it starts.
Oh, is it like?
I know it's kind of like you kind of do a pucker thing or something. It's funny. It's like you're waiting for the thing to start, and it's so funny. It always just cracks me up when I watch the beginning of your videos. Silly stuff like that, but yeah, gotta stay silly. Well, Adriana, thanks for coming on. This was great. Really appreciate it. It was fun. Got to see this, and that worked really good, and really appreciated just chatting about this kind of stuff with somebody other than just me talking about it. And like I said, I don't really talk about politics that much on here, if ever, but if we're ever going to do it, today's the day. I think that, I think the good message we both totally agreed was that we're going to stay calm. We're patriotic. I think we all feel really good about at least having our voice heard, and so hopefully we'll all make it through this, and we'll see what happens. But we're all Americans.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Scott.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Adiana. I'm going to cut you off here, I think. I don't know. I'm just going to hit the red X and see if you go bye-bye. I don't know. But anyways, thanks. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Well, that was awesome. That was cool. So thanks again, Adiana. That was fun. And yeah, go check out her stuff. I mean, she's just a great positive thinker at a really young age. And so she's got a lot of positive stuff to say. Thanks, Donna. Good that you could make it here. Good to see you. And yeah, well, thanks for joining. That's about it. Let's just, stay positive. And, we're going to get a winner here soon. And either way, let's just work on taking lessons into 2021. Either way, ride the positive wave of change. And let's all be Americans. So, and there's Adiana's IG handle. So great. Well, thanks again, everybody. And we'll see you next time on Hero Life Hump Day.